And if you stay in the mist, you gon' be soaked. So listen up, cause this hair of the dog, what's real, what ain't, is this the fog or smog? Cause there's a difference when you breathe it in. So don't let the corporate media take you for a spin. This that morning show, they put you in the know. So I hope that you ready, cause all we do is go, go, go. Yeah, come get your info, you gon' be like, whoa. Hair of the dog, we bout that, ayy. We in the zone, we out here, yeah. Spitting the facts.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Fuck It Friday. I'm Andy Kennedy, and this is Hair of the Dog. And we have a great show for you today. We have an awesome guest coming in here. It's going to blow your mind and all kinds of things. And my lovely co-host, Carrie Barber. I have a
Hey, Andy.
particular story for you right now.
Okay.
It is
Go for
now officially Christmas. Do you know why?
12 days of Christmas?
Moritz Icy Squares.
I
Google
don't
it.
know what that is. Okay, Moritz. They're not a paid advertiser, right?
No,
Right?
no.
Okay, Moritz.
But they're very
Icy
small,
Square.
and this is Canada, so I don't know. They are the world's most delicious chocolate.
And they only come out at this time of year.
Well, I'm only allowed to get them this time. I have to promise
Oh.
if I want some that I can't order them any other time of year.
Gotcha. So it's like your personal Santa Claus, but it's named a Moritz and it comes in little chocolate squares.
Oh, you haven't
that about
lived.
right?
You haven't lived.
Okay.
Eggnog? No.
All right. It's Moritz. So, Andy, share with the rest of the class. Send us down some Moritz Icy Squares.
Sure. You know the border's closed, right?
Yeah,
Plus,
I know, but just slip a note to one of the guards and you can get
Listen.
it passed.
Get your own. Jeff Bezos could use the money. Okay?
Oh, Lord.
Christmas is coming.
Did you see the story? Did you see the story about his ex-wife giving away, what was it, like $1 billion cumulative over a couple months? I think that's amazing. And it definitely explains why they were incompatible. Yeah, one was a hoarder,
Why
one
they're-
was not.
Why they're incompatible. I thought unlike charges were attracted, right? Isn't that right? Opposites
no.
attract?
No, that gets old real quick. That the only way that a relationship like that holds on, where you're polar opposites,
Right.
is we're going to get into a very adult conversation, but I'm going to leave it right there. That is the only way, because women will put up with a whole lot of shit, if everything else is copacetic elsewhere. But yeah,
Not even Icy Squares could fix it.
not even Icy Squares. No,
Wow.
no.
That's fucked.
Very nice circular. So with that, I do want to get into a couple different headlines that have been popping up. So we see the Sanders-Hawley bill that is chugging right along, and that was initially we were supposed to get the $600, and Andy and I talked about how pathetic that absolutely was, and I actually got into a disagreement with a friend online, friend we've actually had on the show, who took it quite personally, and I didn't understand the reaction. It was totally out of proportion to the discussion that I thought we were having. My point was that while $600 would be fine for me, I have to think about the person next to me, and it's insulting. It's not enough, and I am not going to fight for scraps. I'm not going to be happy, and I'm not going to do a dance for it. And the position that this particular person took was, well, I am poor, and you're not going to make me feel guilty. So I'm paraphrasing all of this. But this to me was a moment of solidarity where progressives are supposed to stand together and go, no, 600 is not enough. And we are worth far more. And how dare you come out we need to stop negotiating from a point of weakness. And we always do that. And remember when Obama would do that, and we would be like, why is he starting his negotiation already conceding position? And he would do it over and over again. It wasn't until he left office where he actually admitted, yeah, I'm really a conservative. Now it makes sense. But for us as progressives, look, we cannot continue to sell each other out, and we cannot continue to negotiate from a point of weakness, which is exactly what we're doing with $600. I mean, $1,200. Okay, yeah, that's a little bit better. That's at least a rent payment for most people. That's at least a mortgage payment for most people. That's
not
groceries. That's something. Well, when we look at like the Fight for 15, right? Even that, when we are still fighting for $15 an hour, that was a good solid number a decade ago. We still don't have $15 an hour, and now we actually need to be fighting for 20.
And
right?
it hasn't even moved closer to $15 an hour.
No, not at all. So I personally, and this is part of where the argument came from, because I want people to understand what they're doing is getting us to fight with each other. For some of us to say, yeah, I'm going to take this $600, quit pushing back. I need the 600, when what we really need to do is hold the line. And I refer to it as a picket line. And I use those words on purpose, because as a progressive, we will never cross a picket line. This is no different. And I know there were some hurt feelings, but we need to have these tough conversations. And I think that if I'm willing to sell out my neighbor for $600, I'm the same person who, I have insurance, I have health insurance, I have good health insurance, and I have dual coverage. So why am I still fighting for Medicare for all? Because it's not about me. It's about us, all of us. And that is the same logic that you apply to the $600 payment. Well, now we're talking about $1,200, and it's still, today is the day. Today is the last day for this session of Congress before they go on vacay. So do we have any expectation that they're going to stay later? Are they all going to jump on a plane and head home for the holidays? So I kind of feel like we ourselves are working ourselves into a tizzy for nothing, because they're obviously not going to work some overtime. They're not going to spend Christmas sleeping on the floor in their offices. They're going home. So this is kind of the point.
It's a pretty sad state of affairs when the government keeps you desperate, right? If you're desperate, then you're willing to accept crumbs. You can't live on crumbs.
Well, and that's what we talked about earlier in the week. It's called economic conscription, right? That this entire race to the bottom, the right to work, all of it fits into this race to the bottom and economic conscription, to the point where we're so desperate that $600 in this unprecedented time compared to the rest of the world, that we're happy for $600. That's insane to me. And that's really the level that we're at. So part of how we push back, and we've talked about this too, is our strength, our power, our together. And so some of the headlines that are absolutely ridiculous that I do want to talk about, and I do want to talk about this with our guest too, coming up here in just a second, but David Sirota and Jimmy Dore, this huge blowout that they had that, may have been hyped up a little bit, but I went back and watched David Sirota, who I respect quite a bit as an investigative journalist, and the information that he puts out in the content. But on the Jimmy Dore show, I was really disappointed to see him forwarding arguments that were, number one, inaccurate, number two, fear-mongering, number three, kind of a neoliberal argument in the wake of Medicare for All vote. I was really disappointed to see that. And then what came out of it was, we had talked about how co-opting happens within the progressive movement. And it appeared, I'm not going to say conclusively, but it appeared that what David was really upset about was not getting the credit for this great idea that frankly was not Jimmy Dore's, but he had the platform to forward it about forcing a vote because the first people to do so, Andy, you and I talked about it, was the 16 conservative Dems who forced Pelosi into their position through a letter. These were the blue dog Democrats who told Nancy Pelosi outright over a month ago, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, we will withhold the vote from you for Speaker of the House. And so for David Sirota and Jimmy Dore to be arguing about it, this is how co-opting happens, right? So when I get butthurt about not getting credit or not getting the spotlight, or somebody else like, oh my God, Andy is getting all the praise that I believe that I'm due. Or we talked about at the DNC in Chicago, where the very nice lady from Louisiana stood up and said, I need to be a super delegate because I put in the work. I've been here longer, ignoring all the other volunteers.
Entitlements, the real ones, not the fake ones, are like Social Security and all that stuff. This whole thing is ridiculous. Like, obviously, progressives have to start playing real politics, right? Not this just going along to get along. Oh, we'll get our chance. We'll get our time. We got 9 fucking years, right? The place is destroying itself. We're all going to die soon. We got to start making changes. Start pulling your fucking weight around Congress. Fuck's sakes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And kudos to Jimmy Dore. He did the one thing that I have been a little critical of him over the years for not doing. He actually pulled out the House rules about how a Speaker of the House is chosen, how the vote goes. So I was thrilled to see that. It was a teaching moment, because the whole argument was about, oh, well, if you don't have Nancy Pelosi, you're going to get the boogeyman who's going to be the Speaker of the House. And that is complete and utter bullshit. So it is there. Go and look at the House rules about how a Speaker of the House is chosen for the majority party. In this case, the majority party are the Democrats. Rules are pretty clear. And this is why, when I saw the Intercept article with AOC talking about, oh, well, they haven't prepared the bench and nobody else knows how to do the job but Nancy Pelosi, I just wanted to scream, because you've been there for 2 years. You have a paid staff. You have resources available to you to go and get the publicly available information and read it for your damn self. And you're admitting you haven't, or you're hoping that we believe you haven't. And that's a problem, right? So Dementer had to have step 1, get elected, but where was step 2? Step 2 is take over committees and take over leadership.
Well, and you've got the backing of the people, clearly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, nobody believes for a second that people voted for Joe Biden, right? I am not going to say that there was any bullshit going on with the primary, or I'm not going to go down that road, but the vast majority of Americans voted either for or against Donald Trump. Joe Biden was correct. A placeholder, right?
Oh, absolutely. And it's still in many ways a placeholder. So one of the things that we're looking at is Biden's Biden's cabinet picks. And what I like to remind people is that, okay, some of these cabinet picks, like the one we saw today, my own representative has been named to Joe Biden's cabinet, and I am super thrilled. So that's Deb Haaland. So I think that those things are great. However, we have to, can you hear my dog barking?
Finn, shut up.
So here's what happened. Here's behind the scenes. I tried to keep them quiet and bribe them with bones. I
He
think
finished
one of
it.
them has decided. Yeah, he finished it, and the other one's bone's looking pretty good right now. So that's what's happening. So there's a small drama going on.
Wow, talk
But
about technology.
hey, it's real world.
Listen,
So
just hang on a second. We're getting a little in the weeds here because we do have a guest, and we should probably invite our guest on.
oh, okay.
Okay.
We should. I'm a little fired up right now about some wonky policy things that are going on. So you're right. Andy, you want to do the honors?
Well, we have there's someone that caught my eye on Twitter, and subsequently I investigated because I saw the expression MMT. And if you know anything about me, you know that those are the three magic letters that gets me interested pretty much about anything. So I investigated further, and there is a lovely young lady that is streaming on Twitch, and her name is Salamander Sweet. Welcome, Sal. And she
Hi.
How you doing?
There she is.
Good. Okay, so yeah, there is a little bit of drama happening in the Twitter sphere about the vote. You guys are chatting about it. I was listening.
Yeah, it's a little crazy right now, but I think it
Yeah.
needed to happen, right?
Absolutely.
So
okay, go
what
ahead.
is the drama then? Well, what's the drama going on in did you say it was Twitch or Twitter?
Twitter? Jimmy
Twitter.
Dore started attacking, well, not attacking. I'd like to say it's a critique because these people are public figures. These people are Congress, you know, so we have to be able to talk to them. So he said that AOC should force a vote on the floor for Medicare for all, to see like who's for it. And also like we should have this pass. This is a pandemic. We don't have Medicare for all during a pandemic when all the other countries of Europe and Canada have single payer healthcare. Like what's happening? So he called her out on Twitter. And then the Majority Report got in on it. And the Majority Report is saying, no, we have to wait. We can't push this. We're not going to win. And to that I say, fuck you. Absolutely not. We're not doing that. Power concedes nothing without demand. And we need to fucking demand this shit, okay? It's unacceptable. Let me tell you a little story, okay? In 1919, they put up women's suffrage, okay? And guess what? It did not fucking pass. But in 1920, it did pass because of the public outrage, because they pushed the vote on the floor, okay? It has to be.
Wait a
in the
second, Sal.
public
Wait, I'm going to
discourse.
stop you. I'm going to stop you right there. According to AOC, now she didn't come right out and say this, and David Sirota didn't come right out and say this, but they're implying that if we put Medicare for all up to a vote, that it's done. If it doesn't pass, it's done. It's dead. It will never happen. Are you saying that's not true?
There's historic precedent saying otherwise, okay? And then I'll tell you another story. In 1963, the Civil Rights Bill was put up, okay? And it did not fucking pass. In 1964, it did pass, okay? This is historical precedent saying
But why,
that this
Sal?
is the
Why?
right angle.
Why did it pass the second
Because
time?
it's in the public discourse and we can all fight for it. Like it's the people who need to fight for it. That's why it needs to be in public
So are
discourse.
you saying that if we brought Medicare for all to a vote this year and it was voted down during a pandemic and it was brought again to the floor
Outrage.
next year, it has a good chance of passing? That might be a course of action?
In my opinion, yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Wow, that's extraordinary. So let's back up just a little bit, and I want to explore this more. But Sal, tell people about you and what you do on Twitch, because this is amazing. That holy. Okay, so Andy and I are ancient, and you know I don't can't speak for Andy, but I'm not an online gamer. You're streaming on Twitch, and you're having these conversations.
Absolutely.
Is
Yes,
that
we have these conversations and I yell at my audience about how angry I am about what's happening in the political world. But we
Oh,
and people
oh.
are
we
open
really
to
get
this?
into it. Yeah, we love it. Yeah.
And
We really pick things apart like this.
I dropped into her stream last night after I was done working on a video I was editing. And I got there just in time to see how Sal deals with trolls. Wait to hear this, Sal.
Oh my God.
Okay, yeah.
Well, it just depends on like the type of troll, but this one was like spamming Trump 2020. So what I did was I give him a timeout, which means he's not allowed to type for 600 seconds, but he's not banned yet. And then what I do is I pop on a little video explaining socialism or communism or like and I say, if you want to stay until your timeout's over and watch this and like learn a little bit, you know, you can try again. But you know, sometimes they try again, sometimes they do better, sometimes we have to boot them. But yeah, I like to give them a little socialism timeout.
I see it as a win-win.
Right. Yeah. And my audience gets excited too. They're like, yes, let's watch it.
Okay, so now I'm intrigued, because most people think that Twitch or Steam or something like that is exclusive to video games, video game culture, those kind of conversations, whatever. They always tell you don't talk about politics. So here you are.
No, there's a
doing
little
exactly
political
that.
section, you know, and it normally has maybe around like 200 people in it, whereas just chatting has like 800,000 people in it. But there are some people interested, so like I think that's really cool. I really like it.
And it's what a great
are
way
you-
to get the word to young people that aren't hearing any word of any kind, right? Like right now, there's all of your sources, all of the old people outlets are all spewing neoliberalist bullshit.
I know,
Right?
and you can't go there for news. Like I started my political journey, like I call it that because it really was like a path that I had to like figure out where the true media is.
Right.
MSDNC and and CNN. You know, those people are like, you can tell they're incongruent, like inconsistent with the truth. Like, why would they be fighting something that makes so much sense, like Medicare for all? Why would you have this negatively in the media? What are you doing if you're not just an arm of the people like who own the the fucking insurance industry? Like, how deep does this go?
I remember, this is how old I am. I remember a gentleman by the name of Walter Cronkite who used to get in front of a camera and read the news in an unbiased way. I know it sounds insane, but that's what happened.
Yeah, we don't have that anymore. And that would be fine if they weren't pretending to be unbiased. Like, I'm biased. I will not pretend to be unbiased on my show, you know? I am a lefty, and I'm not going to pretend to be a centrist, you know? Like, they need to be honest.
But you're also not trying to pretend that you're an unbiased purveyor of the news, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I mean, you are talking about the things that you believe in. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
What
And
Carrie
I think that when
do.
they portray themselves as like the law, like this is the truth, that's a big problem.
certainly is. It certainly is. What do you think, Carrie?
I am totally blown away, and I love this whole concept because, I keep looking. Again, going back to policy and data, Wong, I look at the data on the number of voters, particularly those in the younger group, because honestly, my age group and older, we're almost a lost cause. And this does not mean you specifically, Mr. and Mrs. Boomer. This means collectively, we are so stuck on the fear. I'm afraid that if I fight for you to have something, that I have to give something up myself. And that is, it's unfortunate. So I always look to those who are younger.
That is
especially
the mindset.
Yeah, because in this particular generation, my son's generation, your generation, all of this, you guys are already at the nothing left to lose through no fault of your own, right? So these are the folks that have the catalyst for change, but they're not voting. And this is kind of discouraging to me. So what you're doing,
The education system really, it didn't teach me shit about like how this stuff works. You know, I had to seek it out, and that's what you have to do. Like, you have to be hungry for this knowledge, or else they're not going to give it to you.
Well, that's 100% correct. But that's all part of the issue in the United States of, not properly funding education, right?
Yeah.
Or make it just accessible to the very top echelon of society, right? Which just keeps the wealth and the intelligence inequality in the country staying the same or getting worse, right? The problem is eventually there is going to be a point where critical mass is met, right? Where enough of the age group that had it really good have died off, and there's enough young people that want to change. And I'll tell you one thing that kind of, I know people know about it, but I really thought of it in terms of direction, because that's one thing that everybody says. It's the left. They don't have a direction. They're leaderless. They don't know how to organize.
That's
right?
purposeful.
They don't know how to message. When I heard that Nina Turner was running for Congress, I'm thinking, oh my God, she has the potential to rally people like Bernie did. And the critique about Bernie was always, oh, well, he's too old, he's white, he's yelly.
I don't know why they try to do his Jewish erasure, though, because
it's
Jewish,
because
right?
he's completely anti-neoliberal, right?
Like
Be in
erase
charge
his
because
heritage,
they're gonna get completely annihilated, right?
Because there's a lot of anti-Semitism that comes up with Bernie Sanders too. I think there's a lot of anti-Semitism that's happening with that.
Well, it's the same thing they did to Jeremy Corbyn, right? You're saying, Carrie, I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, it's okay. I'm just there are so many great points. So I'm kind of all over the place, but I want to touch on something Sal was saying about the labels. They erased his Jewish heritage. They erased his humble beginnings in Brooklyn, all of these sort of things. And yet compare that to Joe Biden's cabinet picks. All we hear about these people are the demographics, right? They're female, or they're, the first openly gay person to serve in a cabinet. That is all they put forward.
Exactly.
So in order for them to forward that successfully, they have to suppress anyone else. This is why, like, Nina Turner, I think, is going to be problematic for them, because she has served before, and she's served very
fierce.
well. Now you have, right, Black female, but I would still caution progressives. And I think this is part of the angst that we're having, where you have we make sacred cows, going back to a biblical term. So when AOC starts coming out sheepdogging and parroting neoliberal things, we are crushed. We are fighting amongst each other, because
Yep.
here is somebody that we looked up to as a leader who has now shown themselves to be fallible. So I would just caution, same thing with Nina Turner. And I think Nina represents somebody who has the voice, has the passion, and I want somebody else behind her too, because
Yeah.
each and every one of us is going to face that challenge, especially in elected office. The entire machine in DC is meant to get you to fall in line and kind of co-opt you. So who's coming after Nina? Right? Who is going to work with her, and who, if something should happen to Nina or she gets compromised, co-opted, whatever, who's coming right up behind her to help forward all of this? It's a siege mentality at this point.
I think it's really important too, like for this vote to be pushed, because if you want a politician that only rhetorically supports your position, like Medicare for All and the Green New Deal, and doesn't take the essential steps that you need in overthrowing the democratic establishment, which is blocking them, you're just a cheerleader, and all you're looking for is aesthetics, and that's not what we're looking for anymore. I'm not looking for you to wait. I just watched a fucking video today of Nancy Pelosi 30 years ago saying we should just wait a little bit on Medicare for All. We need single payer healthcare, but you guys need to wait. It's been 30 fucking years, Nancy. You think it's time yet? And so now AOC is having the same rhetoric. So like, that's a problem. That's a problem.
We need to make a nice retirement home out of ice cream at the North Pole and put Nancy Pelosi in it.
I heard some statistics today that were shocking. I hadn't even heard this. Joe Biden, once he takes office, will actually be one of the youngest ones in leadership. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So Nancy Pelosi,
We have a
Chuck
gerontocracy.
Schumer, Feinstein.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, that's
Or is
exactly
it a
right.
cacistocracy? I can never tell.
It's a
Geritol for everyone.
It's a fucktocracy is what it is.
That's
Cacistocracy
exactly right.
is a government run by the least qualified individuals.
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't say that they're not qualified. I would say that they just don't care. And in one person's particular case, dementia is probably an issue. So,
oh my God,
yeah,
Feinstein? What is it? Feinstein is the one?
Feinstein.
Oh, Feinstein.
Yes. Who, by the way,
we can't be having this.
She somehow got off on the ethics board for selling stocks during that whole COVID briefing. I'm still not sure how that happened.
Oh my God. And freaking Kelly Loeffler, the radical liberal.
The devil wears Prada.
Raphael Warnock. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So we'll go after Kelly, but don't talk about Diane.
No, well, she had the magical fist pump with Lindsey Graham, right? That gets you out of jail free card, right? That's what that means.
I didn't know Lady G had that kind of power. We've heard about his other powers, but I didn't know about that.
Sure.
So, okay, Sal, here's my question to you. What was it that finally radicalized you? And I'm going to use that term radicalized in kind of an ironic standpoint. What got you politically active? What was it that finally, flipped that switch for you?
It was Nancy fucking Pelosi who did it in November. And it was Jimmy Dore. To be honest, let me be fucking honest, okay? I was watching Joe Rogan, and then Joe Rogan was talking to Jimmy Dore. And Jimmy Dore was like pulling up things of him yelling at Congress people and them responding. And I'm like, oh, is that how we do it? I'm going to get me a Twitter. So you see, like my Twitter was started November 2019, because that's when I fucking learned how to talk to them. And I'm like, okay, now I'm just going to get big enough for you to hear me.
Mhm.
Mm,
And now,
Okay,
a
so
year
that's a goal.
later, she is blocked by 2/3 of Congress.
No, I'm blocked by Vosh and what's his name? John Cusack.
Oh my God.
And
That's like a that's like a wall of fame.
Ian Miles Chong,
Oh, so
And,
all of
Wow.
the
Sargon of Akkad.
deplorables, the wall of deplorables.
Yeah.
That's good. That's congratulations. That's an
Thank you.
accomplishment.
But no
So while we're
senators
talking
yet.
about your Twitter, what is your Twitter handle? What is your Twitter handle so that people can follow you on Twitter, and then do a quick plug for your Twitch channel too, please.
And
I am
I have a graphic for
Salamander
that.
Sweetie, Suite, because I think I'm clever. It's pronounced Sweetie, even though everyone says sweet. Working on it. And it's the same Salamander Sweetie for Twitch, twitch.tv/Salamander Sweetie.
There you go.
Excellent. So anybody can come out and join your stream, your live stream, join the
Yep.
conversation,
And you can chat.
engage
Yep,
with you directly.
absolutely.
Nice. And if they misbehave, get the educational video,
Well,
which
get
is now
the-
like a badge of honor.
Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me show you my
and
hat
you'll
before I go.
enjoy this. You'll want to go out and get one, and not from Amazon.
Oh, very nice. Oh, I'm sure that is
have
inciting
fun.
violence for. Nice.
Oh my God, they do
Nice.
actually censor the word commie.
Do they?
Yeah, they
Oh, yeah.
fucking do.
Oh, I had
And
no idea.
dinosaur, so it gets weird.
So you can't say dinosaur?
Not in the chat. Well, it like
Okay.
bleeps it out. It's so weird.
So
Okay.
Sal is the only person that I've ever heard play the Russian national anthem outside of a Russia-Canada hockey game.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
I'll show you. Yes. There we
Oh,
go.
it's amazing.
There it is.
my
Yeah,
God, though.
I'm sure heads explode. The only thing that I noticed in the background was, because I'm such an uber geek, that's Godzilla back there.
Yeah.
I'm
like a
I'm a
super
huge
nerd with
Godzilla.
my fish and my stuff. But I like when people come in my
Yes.
chat and they're like, "Are you a leftist?" I'm like,
Maybe just a little.
guys.
Wow.
The way I like to say
nice.
it is that you know how the opposite hemisphere controls the other side of the body. So the left side of the left hemisphere controls the right side of the body. The right hemisphere controls the left hand of the body. If you are a leftist, you are the only one in your right mind.
Clever.
You're so
Very
funny.
clever.
So there. So be with
Okay.
that
So,
dad joke.
Sal, we're wrapping up on the hour, and there's
Sure.
still so much to talk about. We definitely want to have you back and have some more conversation, because there's so much crap going on that I think
Yes.
we really need you to weigh in on. And
I stay
definitely,
abreast of the news.
Excellent. Love to hear it. So anybody who is on Twitch, go follow Sal. If you're on Twitter, and most of our audience is, go follow Sal. And Andy, you said you've got that.
I
that
do,
link that
and I
people-
just took it down, but I'm going to put it back up again. Oh,
put it back up so everybody can see it, because everybody's sleeping, not paying attention, and I definitely want them to follow Sal. And to the rest of Sal's audience who may be watching, welcome, come on in. If it's first time tuning into this network, we are totally grassroots focused. We love great ideas, great opinions, and thoughtful conversations with everybody. I get that people like to have celebrities on. Occasionally we do too, but I think that the point is good ideas can come from everywhere. And when we have these conversations together with neighbors, we are actually doing the work that leadership has failed. So totally appreciate Sal coming on this morning. And thank you,
Thanks for having
Andy, for finding her. So Sal, any last thoughts for people who want to join your stream, or maybe just get more educated in politics and how things actually work?
Well, I can say the best time to fight is now. So
Boom.
just keep that.
And
your head.
I would like to say that my stimulus package includes
Oh my God.
$1,200 for every American and a bag of weed.
Hey,
And
yes.
that's every American, including the kids. Why? Because parents need more.
True.
There you go. There you go. Thank you, Andy. Andy for Emperor of the Northern Hemisphere. Thank you.
Yes, I am the Vice President of Canada. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Bye, guys.
So, thanks, Sal. So for everyone who tuned in this morning, this is kind of our typical Friday episode. So thanks for holding on, and we will definitely have a far more serious discussion coming up on Monday. Monday we're going to have words are hard. Monday we're going to have Kit Cabello from Hardlands Media, and we are going to take a deeper dive into co-opting and how the progressive movement can move forward with coalition building. So if you are a fan of Hardlands Media or you haven't checked it out, go watch it. They are doing some hard-hitting investigative journalism and really have some good commentary. So I'm very excited to welcome Kit, and hope you tune in and watch all of that. And we look forward to your conversation as part of that on Monday morning.
It sounds good. Thanks, Gary. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend.
Dog, we bout that, ayy. We in the zone, we out here, yeah. Spitting the facts, how it's supposed to be. Happy the dog, we keep it in G.